Well, welcome everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to Spokane's Community Conversation. Today's topic is women's soccer, and I'm so excited to be here with such a great group of panelists to discuss women's soccer and women in soccer, actually, too, on and off the field. Today, we're going to hit on the trends and the crossroads of soccer in society, talk a little bit more about how to support women's soccer, and also what it means to be bringing elite pre-professional soccer to Spokane. So before we begin the conversation, super excited to introduce you to our panelists. Would like to begin with Amanda Vandervoort. She's a sports business executive with a 20-year track record of soccer leadership, stretching across the youth, high school, college, and professional game. She's currently the president of the USL Super League. So thank you for joining us today, Amanda. Well, and thank you to Coach Chris Watkins as well for being here. He's the head women's soccer coach at Gonzaga University. Completing his fifth season with the Zags. Under his leadership, they had the best season in program history, setting a record for the most wins and shutouts in a season. Coach Watkins is no stranger to USL. During his stint with BYU, Chris was a driving force behind the university's decision to move from collegiate club to semi-pro status by purchasing a Premier Development League franchise from the USL in 2003. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks, Cindy. Excited to be here.
Yay. And Chelsea Lee. She's our homegrown star that we love to follow and cheer for. She's a standout student athlete on and off the field. She's competed with the Spokane Youth Soccer Association and Spokane Sounders Soccer Club as a youth player. A graduate of Gonzaga Prep High School, Chelsea was named her senior year to the All-GSL first team and to the 4A All-State first team. And she just completed her sophomore season with Gonzaga University. So excited to have you here, Chelsea.
Thanks for having me. So excited to be here.
Yay. Thank you all. And so now we get to begin the fun of going to some of our questions and having our conversation. This first one is for you, Amanda. What trends are you seeing at the crossroads of soccer and society? And how does the launch of the Super League and the W League in the USL align with some of these trends?
No, it's great to be here and talk about the global game and the growth of the game, both around the world and then in our local communities. So, and I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing growth. The popularity of the game is rising. We're seeing more fans, more commercial partners investing in the game, and that's leading to a professionalization of soccer and women's soccer. That means both on the field. The opportunity for players to compete at the highest level, elite level competition, and for more coaches and more administrators and managers and referees to get involved in soccer and really, drive its professionalism, drive its growth. And at the USL, we're really excited. We're launching the W League in the summer of 2022, as you well know. And then the summer after that, we'll launch the Super League, which will be our professional league for women in 2023. So I believe today we just announced our 30th team in the W League coming in next summer, and we couldn't be more excited to both be part of this global and local growth, but to be leading it with a long-term sustainable plan and all the support and amazing infrastructure that the USL offers.
Thank you. The pipeline for youth getting involved in sport on the female side is growing exponentially from the male side as well. And so really getting involved from a young age is we're seeing it younger and younger, and more women getting involved, and young athletes getting involved in sport. Chelsea, can you tell us a little bit about why you feel that getting involved in sports is so valuable for girls at such a young age?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had the opportunity to play on a team. My dad put me on a youth soccer team when I was like 4. And I think it just teaches you so many life lessons, like how to work hard, how to be a good teammate, like being part of something bigger than yourself. But also like learning how to compete, because I know like in a lot of countries, girls don't get to play sports and they don't like get to learn how to compete. But I've had the opportunity, and I think I'm so grateful, and it's gotten me here.
Spokane really truly is unique. We have an incredible ecosystem for female athletes in soccer. It's quite unique, and I think a lot of us take it for granted, especially. But though Chelsea, you've seen it in a lot of other areas of the country, and I know you've traveled outside the country to see it too. Coach Watkins, what do you see about Spokane that makes it such a great location for not just soccer in general, but really specifically for women's soccer?
Yeah. Participation rates in this area within youth soccer are really high. The parks are full Saturdays all day because they can't just squeeze all the games in the morning. They're packed with soccer players. And really, there's probably more female soccer players than male soccer players in this town. So um, the numbers are there. The college opportunities, there's 5 Division I schools within just a couple hours drive of Spokane. Really good schools, tons of D3s and JCs around. So the opportunities for these young ladies to grow up in the game and have the game really benefit them in so many ways is really there in this area. And Chelsea's a great example of it. Someone who excels really has a greater platform. But the challenge we have now is summers, and where do they go during those summers between college opportunities, and where do they go after they get done with college? And I think this is a great vehicle to provide that transition.
This community, like we've been talking about, really is unique in that it has a very strong female program for young athletes in soccer. And earlier in our discussion, Amanda, you touched on the increase in playing opportunities for the women's game and how the USL is committed to doing that, especially through the creation of the W League and Super League. Chelsea, from your perspective, what would it mean to you and the young women and girls in Spokane to have your own elite pre-professional team?
I think, well, growing up, I didn't really have a team to look up to. And so I think if we had a W League team, then like little girls could see like, oh, I can play at that level. Like if they can do it, I can do it. And so I think that would be really inspiring for young girls. And it'd also just be a good platform for us as college players to be able to go play at a higher level in the summer, especially like Coach said, to play with some of our teammates. So I think it would be awesome.
Super fun to see kind of that see it. If I can see it, I can be it mentality, really, to have that here for women and girls. And for me, being involved now with soccer in the Spokane community, the majority of questions I receive are really about the women's game. And it's not just from women. Most men, when they start asking me about USL Spokane, they ask me about the women's game and what this is going to mean for their daughters, for their sisters. It's really quite fascinating, and I'm loving those conversations. Coach Watkins, for you, what would you say to all the men out there watching and trying to get involved and support women's soccer? What can they do to support the growth of the game and the players?
Yeah. I think the answer is really simple. Go watch a game. Before you judge what you think a women's soccer game is going to look like, go watch a game. On our campus, we average more at our games than the men's side does, and that's not unique. There's lots of schools who do that. On the women's side, they play with real passion. They play for each other, and to me, that's worth paying a few bucks to go watch the game. Watching Chelsea play, she works harder, or as hard as any guy could possibly work. Technically, she's extremely gifted. Tactically, she knows what she's doing, and so the game is a beautiful game without the interruptions and the delays of some of the theatrics that we see on the men's side. I think when people come watch a game, they're blown away at how hard and physical these ladies can play, and they come back.
It's so true. I think we're so lucky here to have such a great mixture of all the opportunities to watch the men's and women's games. And speaking of women in soccer, we talk a little bit about opening up these opportunities, Amanda, beyond what USL is trying to commit to with USL and W League. Beyond playing, the list of female team presidents isn't super long, but we're starting to see more women working in sports and entering executive roles. Can you speak to the growth that we've seen in women in the front office across the industry and what's been done in recent years to show girls and women that there can be a professional career for them outside of just playing the game?
I think that's so interesting to think about how we create and develop opportunities and pathways for players who have played in college, or in other aspects to stay in the game beyond playing, right? Creating the pathway to work in media or to work in the front office in administration or management. are equally as compelling and equally as important as the on the field opportunities for players. And so, I can speak to my own experience. I've worked in soccer throughout my career. I worked, both on the executive management side. I've worked in media. I've worked actually in labor relations in women's soccer. So I've kind of seen the whole span of it. And throughout my 20-year career, as you said in the beginning, Cindy, I was at that point when I first started, I was the only woman in the room, and that's changing. And the only way we're going to continue that trend and continue that growth and change, where I look across the table and there's equal or sometimes more numbers of women in the decision-making tables, is to create the spaces and the opportunities for women to grow and flourish and learn and build their professional profiles in the women's game. So this opportunity in Spokane and with the W League platform is going to be critical to creating those opportunities. And I love what you said earlier. If you can see her, you can be her.
I think that's so true. I've looked around the room too and seen myself not replicated very much, as far as it's a lot of men versus fewer women. But I think what I love about soccer and what I'm learning is the men are so excited to have the women in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And they want more women in all levels of soccer, from ownership down to executive leadership, coaching and playing. So that is something that's I'm looking forward to in Spokane, is getting more women involved in our game, even here in the area. So for any of the young women watching today that want to find a way to be involved in soccer, and for all the people watching, really to help encourage those women around them, what advice would you give them to get to be playing beyond their youth? And I'm going to start with you, Chelsea, being the closest to a youth player. Give us a little bit of your thoughts on that.
I think just continuing to work hard on the team you're on and like doing extra work that will set you apart so you can go play on a better team and play with better players and just continue to rise from team to team till you're on or you're at the level you want to be at. But yeah, just hard work.
I think you've experienced and done a lot of that, is my sense, in your career. So I think that's great advice. Thanks, Chelsea. And Coach Watkins, how about you?
I think for those who don't know, they need to go out and go watch. You'll be impressed. You'll develop a love for the game, and it has you on the front of something that's happening, something that's developing, and that 5 and 10 years down the road, I think that will be massive in the future for all of us here in Spokane.
That's such a great, I love that we're right on the edge of something truly great. Amanda, from your perspective, what advice would you give?
I love, Coach, what you just said about going to watch. And I think that that's so powerful, both watching on television, but now, with the opportunity to watch both at the collegiate level and pre-professional level with the W League, in your own backyard, I think would be such a great opportunity. So one, watch as much soccer as you possibly can. And two, listen, learn, ask questions, and understand your why. Like, what is it that drives you? Where does your passion come from? And use that. So it's not about, what title you have or what team you play on, but it's about the experience and living your why and living your passion through this amazing game that we all share together.
That's such great advice. Thank you to the three of you. And I know, are there any closing thoughts that any of you would like to add to today's conversation?
Yeah, I just want to comment how great it is to be on this call with this group of people, actually, and I can feel the passion for women and girls soccer in Spokane through everyone that I speak to. And Cindy, it's just thank you for putting this together. I think it speaks volumes to the opportunity in Spokane, and for us at the league office to have the support of the local community and the players and coaches in your city in particular is something that we look forward to working with you in the future and really building something special.
Awesome. Coach
Cindy,
Watkins.
Thank you. This is a lot of time and surely money that you're investing in all of this. So we appreciate it. It's for the benefit of those people don't even know the benefits that are coming their way. And so thanks for putting so much effort into this.
It's exciting for Spokane. Chelsea, Players like you have really opened up this opportunity in Spokane, and that's why USL is looking at Spokane, is because of the hard work that you and your fellow athletes and players have done. So I want to thank you, Chelsea. Your hard work is pretty inspiring to read more about you, watch you play at Gonzaga. I've been to a match this season, and so I commend you. Thank you for taking your time today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here. This was awesome.
I think this is just the beginning for you, Chelsea. So we're going to have a lot of fun watching you grow in your career. So thank you again to all three of you for taking the time. Thank you to all of you that are watching this conversation. We really encourage you to join us along as we grow our Spokane Club here. We want to make sure that you have all the avenues and tools that you want to join us along the journey. So sign up for newsletters at uslspokane.com. Follow us on our digital social channels. Search the handle for USL Spokane. And really, truly, this club is going to be built by Spokane, for Spokane. And the pathway has been led by players like you, Chelsea, and Coach Watkins. And thank you for being an inspirational leader, Amanda. Really appreciate the time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.